Hey guys, welcome back to the GearsNTool channel, and today we are reviewing NITECORE's MH12S 1800 lumens flashlight. And you know, it's getting that time of year, guys, where the days are getting shorter. You know, we got lots of heavy rain and snow in some parts of the country, and a lot of us start reaching for our everyday carry lights. And a lot's changed in the flashlight world in the last 5 years or so. It used to be, you know, a bright light was something that was 100, 200 lumens, might have cost $100 or more, and now we have these little EDC carry lights that can put out 1800 lumens, which is just absolutely insane. And they're rechargeable. You don't have to carry a bunch of these CR123s around in your pack like we used to. The lights, you know, they last longer, they don't eat the batteries up, and they're rechargeable, so it's great. So anyways, I needed a new flashlight. I have a couple good lights like this stream light here, but it's huge. I mean, this is my garage light, and it's not even comparable. So I needed something I could easily carry. I wanted it to be rechargeable because I'm tired of buying these expensive CR123 batteries. You know, these things are almost $1 or more a pop. So, you know, at that time, NITECORE happened to reach out to me. We worked out, you know, a good light for me, and they sent this thing over for an honest review. So we're going to walk through this thing and see how it stands up. Just a couple quick facts for you. I already touched on the light being 1800 lumens, which is absolutely insane. We're going to do some outdoor testing so you can kind of see that in action, but probably more than you need, which is, you know, always great. In addition to it being 1800 lumens, it's got a throw of almost 300 meters. It's you know, got a bunch of candle power. It's impact resistant, and they say it's waterproof down to 2 meters or 6 feet. So we're going to test all those things out and see how it performs. So let's take a quick look at size and weight. The length on this flashlight is 5.5 inches long. And the diameter is 1.1 inches in diameter at these kind of cooling fins, which are a little bit wider than the body of the flashlight itself. The flashlight itself is probably about 1 inch in diameter. So definitely a nice compact package. The weight of this is right at 5 ounces with the batteries inside. So again, that's one of the other benefits of going to these lithium ion batteries. So nice lightweight package. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the accessories that come with this light before we start talking about more of the performance details. First, you get this kind of snap-in holster, which kind of takes the place of a leather sheath. It works pretty good. The light doesn't want to fall out or anything like that. Very nice snug fit. I personally like a pocket clip, but I know a lot of people really like the holsters, especially if they're using them frequently at work or something like that. So solid holster, happy with that. Have a lanyard if that's the way you like to carry it. I personally don't use lanyards, but it seems like a, you know, perfectly acceptable lanyard. And a pocket clip, which is my preferred method to carry. We'll slap that on in a minute. An O-ring, just in case you tear the O-ring or cut it. I don't care what brand you're talking about. It is possible to damage those O-rings. I've done on multiple other flashlights, and it's nice that they provided an extra one. One quick note is when you use these adapters, these batteries can't put out quite as much power as the one that comes with the NITECORE light itself. So you won't be able to use turbo mode. You'll be capped out at about 1000 lumens, but still a nice option to have. Maybe your battery dies, you just need to slap something in there and get going. So nice to have. And finally, since this is a rechargeable flashlight, it comes with a charging cable. Just a standard USB-C cable. No power brick comes with it, but that's okay. We have plenty of those. So as you can see, NITECORE does a pretty good job outfitting you with this light. A couple other things you can get off their website. They might be coming out with a kit in the future, but I think for now these are just standalone items. You can get one of those orange kind of cone things you put on the end of the light for signaling traffic, or just leaving in your holster as like a personal beacon. You can also get a diffuser that just slips over the end of the light, which will give you a more softer and even light if that's what your use case requires. And then finally, I saw that they had a lantern head. So you can kind of put the light in the holster like this, and it'll just stand on the table, and then they have a lantern head that fits on top, which will give you kind of an aerial light for things like reading and stuff like that, or tabletop work. So very versatile kit. I'm pretty impressed with everything they're offering. I know some of the other manufacturers do similar things, but NITECORE's done a pretty good job getting everything you need. I really do like the battery carrier. I have a ton of these CR123s. This bag I showed you earlier, it's just one of like 5 that I have in various locations because of the lights I've been using in the past. And it's nice that I can just keep a few of these CR123s around and have instant power when I need it. All right, now that we've looked at all the accessories, let's go ahead and check this light out a little closer. First off, it's all aluminum construction. It doesn't have that rubberized exterior finish or anything like that, so good quality there. It's got reasonably nice knurling. It's not so rough that it's going to tear your hands up like a weightlifting bar or something. But if you have gloves or something like that on, or you're just in wet conditions and cold weather, the knurling on this nut light is, you know, very adequate for those types of applications. So good job there. The anodizing seems to be pretty good quality. I don't see any obvious like nicks and scratches or anything that I haven't put on myself through testing. So pretty good finish overall. and there's kind of a look on the interior reflector. Very smooth, very reflective. The beam is a mixed beam, and we'll look at it a little bit more outside, but basically it has a hot center with some diffusion effect, so you have some light in your surrounding area, but it definitely has a good hot center that throws out a good long distance. To turn the light on, you just push the back button, and it really throws off a lot of light. I mean, you can see here it's just overwhelming my camera, and you can feel the heat coming off this light. It is so bright, it literally feels hot. I mean, gives you a new meaning to the word torch, doesn't it? So yeah, 1800 lumens, I mean, it's literally heating this thing up. It's a tremendous amount of light. The light has 5 brightness levels. So the first one is 1 lumens, which, you know, is pretty dim, which lasts for 1500 hours, which is 62 days. So that's definitely a long time. The second one, the second brightness level is 50 lumens, which lasts for 45 hours, which is about 2 days. So again, that's very usable. 50 lumens isn't the brightest thing in the world, but you know, for 2 full days of runtime, that's pretty darn good. The medium power is 300 lumens, which will run you 7 hours and 15 minutes, which 300 lumens, I mean, that's competing with a lot of other lights on the market right now. So to have a runtime of over 7 hours, it's great. And then the high setting is 1050 lumens, which will run 3 hours and 15 minutes. So the height, I mean, this is completely washing my hand out. That is really bright, guys. That's brighter than most lights you can get in this size package. And to have a runtime of 3 hours and 15 minutes, it's pretty remarkable. And then finally, the turbo mode is the 1800 lumens, when I can feel the heat all the way out here. And they said the runtime on this is 90 minutes, which is really remarkable. So again, this turbo is insanely bright. It heats up the light a bit. I would recommend probably running it on the 300 or 1000 lumen settings. That's going to be plenty bright for most applications. So in addition to the 5 brightness settings, by holding the mode button up by the head of the light, we can go into strobe mode, beacon mode, or SOS mode, which are all handy features. You don't have to sit with the light and keep pressing the back button. You can just set the light down, go do something else while you're calling for help, or you know, whatever else you might need those features for. And now this is kind of their EDC version. So one of the features I really like about this light is it will remember what the brightness was when you last used the light. So let's go ahead and test that out. So if I put it on, we'll say low here, I turn it off, I turn it back on, it's still in low, which is really nice because I don't know about you guys, you grab your light at night, you're trying to look for something under the bed, and boom, 1800 lumens right in your face. It kind of blinds you for a while. So it's nice that it remembers your last setting. So if you really like the 300 lumen setting, you click it on and it's always 300 lumens. Their tactical version of this, which is the P20i, when you click it, it will always come on in bright mode. And that's kind of what defines a light as being tactical. Across almost all the brands out there, if you turn the light on and it's always in the bright mode, that's typically a light that's aimed at the tactical market. If you have a light like this one, where it remembers the last setting you used, that's normally a EDC type light. So that's kind of the difference for you guys. I prefer this style because I don't always want to be blinded when I'm trying to look for something under my bed. The back switch on this light's pretty nice too. It has a nice sure click when you want to turn it on and turn it off. It also has momentary press if you just want to quickly check something without having to fully engage the light. So it instantly turns off when you release the button. To charge the light, all we have to do is pull the flap off the side of the light. It's got a nice thick, about 1/4 inch thick rubber grommet there. And it takes the USB-C input right in the side of the light. Another nice thing is when it's charging, the indicator light will blink, letting you know that the light is being powered. Another nice touch is that charge indicator will start blinking when you're using the light if the battery is under half power. And then it'll start blinking rapidly if the battery is almost dead, letting you know you need to charge the battery again or put in some permanent ones with the carrier. When charging this light with the USB-C charger, it takes 3 hours and 50 minutes. Really not too bad considering how big the battery is in this thing. When you're done charging, just pull the USB-C cable out and plug it back up, which is nice because that flap is nice and flush. It's not going to catch on the holster or tear loose or anything like that. It should hold up for a really long time. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Inside we see the end cap here has a nice heavy duty spring. Then we have our 5000 milliamp hour battery, which holds a ton of juice. And looking inside there, I don't know if you can see that, there's another spring in the bottom. Not sure if you can see the spring in there, but if you watch when I put the battery in, see how it bounces? There's a nice heavy duty spring in the bottom as well. So that's really important because if you drop this light or something like that, you don't want it to damage the components in the head or flicker when you shake it. By having the spring on both sides, you'll be guaranteed to have continuous light. Now the battery carrier works pretty much the same way as the battery, but let's go ahead and check it out. Open it up, and you just put the pointed end in first, or positive end. Seal it up. And we're back in business. One note is when you're using the battery carrier, the light will not operate in turbo mode. Those little batteries just don't have the same amount of power as this big guy. So it'll still do the 1050 lumens, but it won't do the 1800 lumens that the bigger battery will do. Let's go ahead and put the big boy back in and go do some testing. So the first test I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this in my fish tank to verify that it is indeed waterproof. And then we are going to take it outside and run it through its different brightnesses so you can see what the differences are. And then also kind of look at the hotspot versus diffusion so you can kind of see what that mixed beam pattern looks like. So here we are at the fish tank, and it says that this flashlight is good for 2 meters or 6 feet. My fish tank's about 2.5 feet deep, so this should have no problem. In it goes. And it looks like it passed. The light's still on. The fish are probably sufficiently freaked out, but it passed. Okay guys, we're in my backyard. We're gonna go ahead and start with the lowest setting first and work our way up so you can see how bright they are compared to each other. So this is 1 lumen. You might not be able to see it on screen because it is pretty dim, but I put my hand in front of you. You can see for close-up work, it is usable. I'll go ahead and go up to 50 lumens. You can kind of see a little bit, but it's very dim on that back wall there. My camera is definitely compensating for this. Right up close here, about 5 to 10 feet or so, very usable. Let's go ahead and go up to 300 lumens. And this is definitely much brighter. You're seeing a lot more diffuse light in the area. Out 20, 25 feet, you can definitely see that back wall with the hot center. So 300 lumens is definitely putting off much more light. Let's go ahead and move up to 1,000. So here's 1,000 lumens, or 1050. You can see like there's a dog toy there. You can see pretty much the entire wall. That hotspot gets really big. It's really lighting up this whole backyard quite well. And if I kind of look through the fence, you might not be able to see it the camera. I mean, I'm easily lighting up things 80, 90 yards out there. And let's go ahead and go up to 1,800 lumens, significantly brighter. And the light's warming up much quicker now. It's definitely putting off a ton of energy. But basically that whole back wall is covered with the hotspot, which is probably, 60 feet away or so. And then up closer, just in the hotspot of the light itself is almost like being in daylight. I mean, you're basically holding a portable sun. So there you have it, kind of the outdoor test. All right, guys, well, that's the overview of this light, and I'm pretty impressed. This is a really solid light for $89. It's going to be pretty hard to beat. I mean, 1,800 lumens is a ridiculous amount of light. And I did some research. The rechargeable battery that's in this thing, it's like a $40 battery. You can pick them up for like $35, $40. So really half the cost is just in the battery. So I'm thoroughly impressed with this light. It seems like a solid construction. It's rechargeable, so it's going to save you a ton of money on those replacement batteries. It's got an ample amount of lighting power, and it's a really good size for everyday carry. I think if you're in law enforcement, or maybe you work in manufacturing, you have to get to work at 4 a.m. every morning, or even just for a camp light or something like that, this is going to be a great option. And again, I want to thank NITECORE for sending this light over to me. It really kind of speaks to their confidence level in this light, letting me review it without having any requirements to give them a positive review or anything like that. So I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I don't ever accept products from a manufacturer if it's something I wouldn't buy myself. And this is definitely a light I would buy myself. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss future videos just like this one. Cheers.